Hi, here's a class for you that should be pretty fast, at least compared to your normal, 75, 90-minute yoga class, but it should be able to reap some really good benefits, and there's going to be a lot of core work within all of the poses. So, let's stop talking, meaning let's have me stop talking, and just come to a nice kneeling position. Now, I'm not using any props today. I just don't feel like using the props. They're usually all over the place. But if kneeling doesn't feel good, you can always sit cross-legged, or between the backs of your legs, you could put a blanket or a bolster to minimize the knee flexion. So just keep that in mind. My feet are flat and open, tops of the feet on the floor. And while you're here, try to press all 10 toenails into the ground. And if you can't quite get the pinkies in, instead of turning your ankles away from one another to get the pinkies in, actually press the inner top foot into the floor a little bit more strongly and then spread the toes a little. Cup your hands below your navel and then breathe down into your navel like you're filling a vase full of water. And then just let the exhales come out gently, but envision that the exhales are coming out from the bottom to the top. So as you breathe from the top to the bottom, expanding all the little nooks and crannies along the way, like a little English muffin filling up with air. As you exhale, you gently lift the muscles above the pelvic floor, and with the most subtle movements possible, a little squeezing of the front of the spine as though you were just going to manually press the breath out of your body. And then when it's time, just inhale and release. So let the sit bones be wide, let the tailbone release and maybe curl back just a tad. And then as you exhale, feel the front low spine, the front of the pelvis draw in and up, and then lengthen through navel. Ribs might condense towards one another, and then repeat the process. The inhale fills up and expands, the exhale condenses and draws up. So as the inhale travels down, on your next exhale, draw your low belly in and up. Try to lift yourself off of your feet so you're kneeling. And then inhale, spread the sit bones wide, press the flesh back and apart. And then exhale, start from the pelvic floor, low navel, rise up, kneeling, inhale. Exhale, now take it down with a little drawing in of the low belly. Feel the ribs pull in, come back slow. Take a breath upon sitting. And then exhale, repeat, low belly lifts you up to kneeling. Inhale, pause. Exhale, drawing the belly in, ribs in, come back. Let's use the arms here. Inhale, reach the arms to the sky. And then exhale, pull the fists in as you sweep the spine in and up. Inhale, come down, exhale, draw in and up. Inhale, exhale, and then just for fun, inhale here, reach up to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart, draw the low belly in and up so the tip of the pubic bone draws up into the body. Don't tuck the tailbone. Inhale, pause. Exhale, take it back up. Inhale, spread the flesh a little. Let the sit bones widen. Exhale, sweep the front of the pelvis in and up towards the ribs. Take it back. And how about a little child's pose here? Widen the knees if you can. You can take all the weight onto the heels if you like. I prefer to have a little more weight towards the front of the body. And then I start to pull the hips so they become over the knees, and then it becomes more like a puppy pose. And then you can go back and forth, seeing how each position feels, where the position of the hips changes the stretch. And then taking your hands into the floor. See if you can get every bit of your fingers and your hands to press into the ground. And then pretend like you have claws and you're going to retract the fingers and thumbs into the hands. So the centers of the palms lift, but not the rim. Now when you retract the claws, at least for me, I notice that the index knuckle of where my index and my hand meat tends to pop up. So I just press that down a little more. When you press that down more, those inner fingers press down, you may start to feel some drawing in of the inner arms and the armpits, right? So from here, try to keep the inner elbows rolling towards one another, and then maybe even a little bit towards the thumbs, depending on your mobility. Shift a little bit forward, tuck your toes. Put your feet in line with your hands thereabouts, maybe a little narrower. And then as you exhale, like something's picking you up, draw the low belly in and up, like something from the ceiling is just drawing you up from the top of the pelvis, and then find your down dog. So from here, you're welcome to bend and straighten a little bit of everything. That includes your arms. So maybe you bend one arm down towards the floor, so the elbow points the same direction as your shin, and vice versa. So I'm bending opposite arm and leg. You're welcome to try that. And then when you're ready, come to stillness, inhale, bend the knees, let the elbows soften a little bit, but draw your upper arms towards one another. And then wiggle your tail as you breathe normally here. Just breathe a little bit. And then as you exhale, like a wave is coming at you, behind you, draw your low belly in and up off of the hip creases and pull the mid belly towards the back body. And then settle your down dog here. And see if this doesn't feel like the weight between the shoulders and the hips, the feet and the hands are more equally distributed. So check it out. See if this version of down dog is a little bit better for your shoulders. If you push back, I know you might notice that there's deeper dimples in my shoulders. That's my arm bones not really being settled into the body. So we're going to do some down dog to plank waves. So inhale, bend. And as you exhale, you're going to pull the front low pelvic floor up and in and draw the low belly forward like a wave is coming behind you. Find your plank. Inhale. Little soft bend of the elbows. Exhale, press back and in. That's one. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten, tippy toe. Roll the belly to the ribs, ribs towards the heart. Plank, inhale, soft bend. Exhale, push back. Repeat. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, soften. Exhale, pressing and gathering the belly towards the spine. We're going to do this 2 more times. If your wrists are getting tired, remember to press the inner hand as much as the outer hand. Next time you come forward, take the knees, unflip the feet. This might be good for you. Try to take the tip of the pubic bone down first. You're going to pull the belly in and up to do that. And then take everything down. And then release the hands, wiggle the fingers, make little fists. And then take a brief locust pose here. So press the backs of your hands and tops of your feet into the floor. And then exhale, draw the belly off of the floor so the tip of the pubic bone gets heavier. Lift your legs. Inhale, take them down. Exhale, draw in, lift your arms. Inhale, take them down. Exhale, draw in, lift everything. And then breathe into the heart here, keeping the low belly lifted, condensed. Spread your toes, spread your fingers, and then take your hands behind your back if you can. Interlace. A little bend in elbows is good. Knuckles towards heels. Crown of head reaching forward. The crown of your head, not your hairline. So think about that. And then exhale, take it down. Hands to about mid-ribs. Pressing into the floor. As much as you can of your fingers and hands into the floor. Take a breath here. Press toenails too. Exhale, pull the deep low belly in and up. Keep the head low. Inhale, curl the heart, head, little cobra here. And then exhale, pushing into inner arms, drawing belly back. Brief child's pose, curl toes. Find your down dog. So we're going to go into a little core sequence here. So we soften the limbs to find entry into the next pose. And the left leg is going to start first. So inhale, soften knees and elbows towards earth. Exhale, lift the belly, lift the left knee. And then inhale, straighten everything out. Exhale, draw the belly in, bend the limbs again. Take the left knee to the right elbow. Notice how my low belly is lifting, so my hips are a little higher than my shoulders. Take a breath. Exhale, push back. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Left knee, right elbow, thread the leg through. Take your back inner foot down. Right hand to your shoulder. Try to take the whole chest to the side. If your chest can start rolling more towards the sky, you could reach your right arm up. Hello. Exhale, take it down. Take a breath here, and then exhale, creep the low belly in and up, back. Sweep that knee in. Inhale, stretch the leg out. And then exhale, bend deeply. Draw the left knee towards the same side elbow. And then let that leg extend out away from you. This time the left hand comes to the shoulder. If you can get your chest to start turning, you can take your back foot down, by the way. Right foot down. If your chest can turn, your collarbones can spread. Left arm to sky. And then as you exhale, turn your toes. Take a breath here. And then exhale, gather the low belly in and up. Sweep the knee in. Stretch it out, inhale. And then as you exhale, take it down. Left knee, left wrist. Come down for a brief pigeon. Brief pigeon. We won't be here too long. You can come off of your hands to give them a little relief. You can turn your thumbs forward and elbows back for a little stretch. And then while you're here, you can inhale and press your front shin, back leg, back toes into the floor. And then as you exhale, draw the inner thighs towards one another, lengthen the belly, and then round the upper back a little or a lot. Repeat, inhale, press down, breathe all the way down, exhale, draw in, lengthen, and round. You're going to turn your hands forward. Next couple of breaths. Spin your back to under. And as you use your inhale again to press down, exhale, you draw your belly a little higher now. Curl the back knee up, left knee into chest. And then as you inhale, stretch the leg out. And then exhale, look under your right armpit. Try to find your left foot under your right armpit. As you open your chest and your navel. More your navel. Maybe your chest is a little more square. And from here, start spinning your left toes, or your right toes, sorry, to the back of your mat. Your left foot gets closer to the ground. Maybe it even touches. You can take both hands to the earth in a tabletop. You can reach your left arm up. And I like to do these. You can try if you want. Inhale, come down, almost sit towards the floor. Notice how my arm bone isn't like way up here. I'm trying to sort of rotate externally in the upper arm and press in. So inhale, and then like a little zipper following the deep core line, exhale, rise up. And then inhale. You can, of course, stay put with both hands down. And then when you're ready, take a breath. And then exhale, draw the belly in. Flip yourself back to either regular tabletop on your knees or down dog. And then let's take the feet together at the back of the mat. Inhale, bend down towards the earth. Exhale, hollow the low belly with a little puff and then jump or step to the front of your mat. And then let's take a little ragdoll here because no doubt the upper body would like a little release. And then bend the knees pretty generously. I'm pretty warm, so my legs going straight. Didn't really feel all that stretchy. But I know better than to stretch my legs out 100% off the bat. So bend the knees pretty generously and more generously. And then inhale, hands on shins or blocks or soup cans or whatever you have at home. Inhale, offer the heart. Spread the sit bones wide, either manually or by drawing the upper inner thighs back and apart, deepening the groins. Breathe again. Exhale, stay deep in the groins, draw the belly up and in. And then inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Plant your hands, inhale. Exhale, step or hop back to down dog. This time the right leg is your star. Pause the video, go to child's pose for a bit if you like. I'm going to come down to dolphin for my resting pose. It's about 5 breaths in your resting pose of choice. Taking my hands in namaste. And for dolphin, it really is going to stretch those hamstrings a lot because your point of contact up in the upper body is much closer to the ground now. So your legs have to do quite a bit of stretching. But because your arms are bent, so does the triceps and the front of the shoulders. So just be wary not to overdo it. And then if you're in dolphin, you can put your knees down first or bend the knees. And then exhale, feel the low belly lift and rise. Take your hands down, back to down dog. Breathe in here, soften all your limbs towards the earth. Exhale, lift up your belly, right knee to sky. Inhale, stretch your limbs. Exhale, dive down. Pull the low belly up and in now so the front of the pelvis is swept up. And then right knee to left elbow. Take a breath here. Exhale, push back. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, dive bomb down. Lift it up to the opposite side. And then right leg stretches out. Turn your back foot. Left hand on your shoulder. Again, the idea of collarbones opening. Left arm to the sky if you can feel pretty open. And then from here, take the hands down. Take a breath. And then exhale from pelvic floor to front low sacrum. Draw in. Sweep that right knee in. Inhale, stretch it out. And then exhale, dive down. Pour it in, right knee, right elbow, or shoulder. Inhale. Exhale, push back. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, pull it in. And then stretch the right leg out. Switch your back foot down. Right hand to the shoulder. So if your chest is mostly pointing down and you reach your arm up, you're not really doing yourself a favor here because you're cutting off a line of energy with your arm bone poking out. So maybe you could reach forward, right? But not here. And if you're able to feel that you can make a straight line, that's a little bit better for your body. Take your hands down, spin back foot, inhale. Exhale, draw it in, right knee in. Inhale, stretch it out. And then from here, bend the leg. Look under your left armpit. Try to keep the left hip crease, knee and toes in line as you switch the navel to the right. But you're looking under your left armpit. And then left toes, for reals this time, kind of turn and stretch towards the back of your mat. Look to see if your right foot touches. Both hands can come down and reverse tabletop. You can even sit on your butt. Why not? Why not? Enjoy a little break. Otherwise, 3 wild things. Inhale, hands down, right in the pelvic diaphragm like a little zipper. And then exhale, zip it up. Take a breath here. And then inhale, exhale. Inhale back maybe this time. One more, exhale. Switch it out. See how it feels. Exhale, pull the belly in. Turn it over. Woo. Right hand to the floor. Take your feet down. Or actually I lied. Right leg to the sky. Exhale, dive bomb it down. Right knee, right wrist. And then take it to a half pigeon. That's what I really meant to say. So you can do what you did before, thumbs forward to stretch. Might feel nice. Or if you have the ability, if it's in your body, and if it's not, that's fine. Top of the hands into the ground. And then these are my arms. My arms are totally locked and hyperextended. So I'm trying to avoid that. Press into the top of your back foot and your shins. Inhale. Exhale. A little drawing up and in. Inhale, press down with everything that's touching the earth. Exhale. Draw everything in. Place your hands flat. Curl your back toes. Inhale. Exhale, use the sweeping of the front low spine and then the mid spine. Start lifting the right knee up. Take it back to down dog. And then from here, again, inhale. Press into all the finger bones you possibly can. Bend towards the earth. And as you exhale, you're going to pull the right, oh no, not the right, the low belly up to the navel. And jump or step. And then fold. Ragdoll. Put some more weight into the front of your feet. Maybe a little wave side to side would be good. And then from here, inhale, off for the heart. Sink the hips. Exhale. Let the low belly do the lifting and the rising. And then, oh, here come the ribs. And then the heart, inhale. And then exhale. Sweep it down through chair. Take a breath in. Off for the heart. Press the inner thighs back. Exhale, lift the left leg, step it back. And you can find a lunge here. Notice that whenever I find a lunge, a lot of people just want to dip their hips down. And I would encourage you to have, like, if that feels good for like a second and you don't have any pain, okay, yeah, go ahead, fine. But then over time, can you find a more levelness with the front hip and the front knee? And then just have the sensation, if you're not sure if you're overdoing the hip dipping or not, press both feet into the floor, really ground, and then have a little scissoring action with your inner thighs. They'll help draw the pelvic floor up too. So take an inhale here, offer the heart, and as you exhale, bend the back leg, pull the feet towards one another, and then draw the belly back so the ribs stack over your hips, and then inhale, reach up, letting the back leg relax naturally instead of forcing it straight. And then as you exhale, take your hands back, fingers back, like you're wiping something yucky off of you, right? And then maybe you can interlace the fingers on an inhale, like we did in locust. And then exhale, release, take your hands down. Exhale, kick the leg up after a soft bend so you can come to supported warrior 3. Inhale, deepen the right hip crease, even if that means the right thumb has to go in. Exhale, pull the belly off of your hip crease. Start to rise up to stand, both feet down, or thread left knee into the hands. And then you can stay here. Or you can step right back to lunge, walk your hands over to the left, bend the knees, ninja lunges, inhale, stick the booty out, just a wee bit. Press into your feet though. Exhale, rise through the front of the spine, inhale. And then exhale, take it down. Bend into the right leg, turn the left toes forward. Walk your hands forward. And as you inhale, offer the heart. Exhale, bend the back leg. Draw the low belly in and back. Stack your heart over your hips, inhale. Exhale, pull the fingers back in. Wipe that yucky stuff off your hands. Interlace your fingers the way that doesn't feel right. Feels like you're missing a finger. Take a breath or two here, and then exhale. Pour from the low belly forward. Inhale. Bend the back leg. Exhale, draw the belly in and up. Float the back leg. Breathe in. Breathe out. Deepening the left hip crease as you exhale. Pull the belly up off of the legs. Thread the right leg through or step down. Right knee in the hands if you can. Feel okay here. Some of you will hang out here. And I'm not saying that that's bad for a moment or two, but then really press into your left foot, ground. And then from here, step down or just go straight back to lunge. And then from here, plant your hands, either finger pads or your whole hand. Bend your legs, inhale. Exhale, let the belly rise before the feet come off the floor and jump switch. If you can't comfortably do that, just step back and switch legs. And then you're going to turn to the left. Heels in, toes out. Inhale, offer heart. Exhale, rise through the front low spine. Keep your booty from squeezing in and clenching. Inhale, reach out. Then exhale, take it down. Bend into the right leg. Spin the left toes forward. Walk everything forward again. And you can step back to down dog. Right, letting the low belly lift first to make it a ninja step. So inhale, exhale, pull the belly in and up. Try to lift without a sound. Inhale here. And then exhale, let it out. Whatever you need to do. And then we're going to take your feet about as wide as the mat, mid-mat. Come into Malasana for a little squat. If you have a crow pose, that's great. Maybe you would like to do that here. Press the hands in as we spoke about before. Try to parallelize your elbows, wrists, forearms. It's okay if they're a little wide, but no chicken wings, okay? And if you can come up to your tippy toes, great. Otherwise, you could put your feet on blocks. So many ways to do crow. This is the propless way right now. So as you exhale, hug the arms with the legs, draw Mula Bandha, low belly, pelvic floor, however you want to look at it, and try to come up And if this doesn't feel right to you and you feel like you're going too far forward, come down. And then those of you that kind of know what's going on or what you could do, you could try the armpits and the knees, making sweet love to one another. And then as you exhale, there's still pelvic floor lift without a doubt. And then you just take it forward, try to draw the low belly in and out, and then gather your landing gear. Right. Okay, so from here, let's just chill out. I'm going to recommend we come to our bellies to cool down. Let's get a little hip extension. So bend your left leg. And just notice if you bend your left leg, like if your butt starts to poke up, right? And like that tip of the pubic bone, instead of pressing down towards or into the floor, sort of lifts up. So try to find that exhale that sweeps the front low spine in and up so you get a little more contact with the lower part of that pelvic area. You can reach for the left foot with your left hand and hang here, even if you don't touch, right? If you can't touch, I like doing this. I'll curl to my right side and then I grab my foot another way, my left foot another way, and then I'll come right back. It's not cheating, it's called ingenuity. And then some of you will want to take your right forearm parallel to the front of your mat. This actually aggravates my back and my knees. So no matter how much I go scooping in the low belly in and up. It's just too much for my back, for whatever reason. So I stay down. But you're going to breathe here. And then when it's ready to switch legs, you switch legs. And give yourself about 10 breaths from when you feel settled. So, again, you don't really want to have the whole tailbone like lifting back and up. You want to have it neutral, reaching towards the extended, the left leg in this case, heel. But you've got to have some engagement down low. 10 breaths for you, whatever that means. And then you could take both feet, entirely up to you. You've got to have the engagement from below from right between the inner thighs, the hip crease, pelvic floor. For some people this might feel great, for others not so, in which case take like 5 breaths on each side again. And then from here, you're going to flip onto your back like a little pancake, or actually we'd make really huge pancakes, wouldn't we? And then take your feet about hip width apart. And a block would be great if you have one, or a large hardcover book. But otherwise, or a really thick soft cover paperback. Sometimes I like to take fists and put the thumb index portion kind of right in the fleshy part of the butt, and then I move a little bit side to side, see if there's any tender areas. There almost always is. And then as we did before, you could interlace your fingers. So instead of going at finger first, you want to snuggle your upper arm bones underneath the shoulder blades to a degree, and then interlace. Because if you can't snuggle the arm bones, then interlacing probably needs to wait, and then your arms just go down by your side, right? And then you could take your fingers to the sky like robot hands. And if you do interlace your fingers and you're happy with that, I'm going to say pick 5 breaths. And then press the feet in and away from you. So it's like you're trying to slide your feet towards the wall or whatever's in front of you. And then feel the low belly drop in and a little bit of rib connection. And then if you want to, you can walk your feet in closer. Now this is all about your knees. At least for me it's about my knees, but it's also about low back. You could grab the ankles if you want and be on your tippy toes, and some people love this, but you've got to remember that there's a connection in the front of your body at all times. And then if you're like me and today your knees are not happy, but you want to do something different, you can take this pose. So we're going to take the legs together, roll to the right side. Anyone can try this. So you're going to sort of roll to your right chest, and then you're going to interlace your fingers on your side. And that's it. It's nothing too fancy or special. However, if you want to be a little fancy and special, grab the top leg, in this case the left, and you can interlace your fingers around that particular foot. Right, maybe extend the right leg or keep it bent. Just a different way of getting into things. You do want to make sure that you have a little hollowing of the low belly. You could kick the leg back. And then you do it on the other side. This is just fun stuff. You don't see a lot of sideline poses, but they're some of my favorite. For a while, I didn't even think they existed up until like a few years ago. Right? So I'm grabbing my right foot here, my left leg was extended, now it's bent. And then from here I'm feeling pretty complete, except I would like to do a spinal twist. So my spinal twist today is going to be right leg in a pigeon position. My hips are going to go to the right about an inch and my legs go to the left. Now that right knee could come down close to you, or you could keep it up to the sky, grab the right foot, extend the right arm away from you, chest towards the sky. This will just get deeper into the right hip flexor. Okay, right hip flexors, and like you might get some in your deeper core muscles too, which also act as hip flexors, right? So same difference. And then maybe over time, the chest tries to stay square to the ceiling, and the right knee comes closer to the body, and then we'll get more into the back body. So, I like both. And then over time, the top leg could straighten. But remember, you're trying to cool down, you're not trying to go for like the ultimate awesome pose. Not that that's a good idea anytime, really. That's when you usually end up hurting yourself, but if straightening your right leg feels pretty natural and like less of a strain, then do it. And then take everything in, take your hips back to center, and then wave the legs out and in maybe a little bit. That was my hip. Cross left leg over, take the hips to the left just a hair, not a lot. Knees to the right. Keep your left knee to the sky if you can. Grab the ankle with your right hand. Whew, talk about hip flexes. Oh my. It's getting a little bit into the upper, like the glute medius area. And so for me, it would make sense for me to stay longer with the knee up position because I'm feeling more stretched than I was on the other side. You can take your knee down if and when you choose. And then when you're ready to come up, do so very mindfully. Using an exhale can help you control the belly where the legs are connected. Take the knees into the chest, and if there's one more thing you'd like to do, so for me it's going to be a half lotus, kind of supine, but first my left leg's going to start bent. Right knee bends into my chest, and then I'll grab, and you don't have to do a lotus, you can do cross-legged, just so you know. So you could pull the right outer ankle towards the left hip crease. Now for me, a lot of people's knees go up to the side, and for me, it makes sense for my knee to point more forward just because of structure and stuff. And then I slowly inch the left leg straight because I don't really want to just go pinging out. And then I continue to hold on to my foot with my hand. And then I continue to collect the belly on every exhale to make sure that I'm not dumping into my low back to compensate for hips and knees, which is pretty common. So, and my knee feels fine the way it is, but if your knee said no, then you would listen to your knee and you could just cross your foot over to the other side and all that. And this is okay for what it is. I'll bend the left leg. It's starting to bother me a little bit in the knee. So I always listen, and then I'll maybe give a little tapping just to get some of the blood flow back a little quicker. Bend right leg. Left knee bends into chest first. Then I externally rotate on the hip. Take the left outer foot / ankle into your right hip crease. Now this knee tends to bother me for some things, but not for others. So I'm going to be a little bit more tender with this one and be very gentle. But also remember that if I exhale and I draw some of my deeper core stabilizers in, I don't let my back arch. Once my back arches, I feel more my hip and my knee. Now that's just me. I'm not saying that that's an every person thing. And this knee is surprisingly docile. It's not screaming at me, so I'll stay maybe an extra breath or two. And then when I'm ready, I'll pull the belly in. I'll take the leg in, and from here, I might reset the body, taking my feet into the floor and wiggling my feet out and in, and then you could initiate the movement from the feet at first, and then initiate it from like the knees, like think about moving out and in the knees, and then I'll think about it initiating it from the head of the thigh bone, like right in the hip socket. Just kind of fun. Same thing with the arms, right? So take the palms down, up, down, up, down, up, right? With a little music, and then think about the inner elbow going down, up, down, up, down, up. And then I think about the head of my arm bone rotating in, out, in, out, in, out. Different sensation. And now you're in Shavasana. Boom. So just chill out here. And then trying to find the most amount of heaviness in your body that you can conjure. So if there's anything that feels super tense, go ahead and breathe a little space in there. I like to think about breathing gravity into the places that are tense and hold on to things and kind of lift up, like when my hips lift up and my back is overarching. And then when the chest lifts up because the shoulders are over retracting. Just scan the body from the fingers to the arms, to the shoulders, the chest, the ribs, both sides of your belly, down to your inner thighs, to the outer legs, to the kneecap, the shins, the ankles, and the feet. And just test for heaviness, like a grounding heavy, not an oppressive heavy. So feel grounded and safe here. And then giving yourself another couple of minutes here for 20 to 30 breaths. And I hope you enjoyed your practice. Don't get up because I'm ending the video. If you have the time, take it. There's nothing better than taking the time when you have it to rest and decompress and let the body reset itself into something different rather than sitting at your desk or in your car or hunching over a register or a microscope, whatever your job is. Take time to reset here.